Poland has become a political battleground after the newly elected government acted swiftly to change the leadership of crucial institutions, regain control of the public media, and reverse changes to the justice system in what had been a source of disagreement between Poland and the European Union. The now opposition Law and Justice Party, or PiS, which ruled Poland for 8 years, is pushing back against the changes by disrupting work in the parliament and organizing protests on the streets. Last week, opposition supporters marched to the Prime Minister's office, encouraged by their leader, Jarosław Kaczyński.
If we are supposed to win, we need to change this government. They are not even in power for a full month. Yet, ladies and gentlemen, this government, which started implementation of this plan, we need to stop. And at the right moment, using the ballot, we need to change. But change it in a way that they would not come back, because it's not the Polish government.
Former European Commission President Donald Tusk led the center-right coalition that ended the Law and Justice Party's hold on power with a victory in election last October, winning on promises to restore the rule of law and democratic institutions. Tusk, now Poland's prime minister, has pledged to change Poland's direction, reinstate civic rights, boost the economy, and mend relations between Warsaw and the EU. Aleksandra Karasinska, the editor-in-chief of Forbes Woman Polska, says members of the old guard are reluctant to relinquish control.
We had 8 years of very right-wing, conservative, nationalist government. And the old elite is surprised by the result of the election. So they are not really willing to give up on power, but they have to. There was the popular vote. This is democracy. We have a new government, they have majority in the parliament, and they're going to rule.
This week saw the first face-to-face meeting between Polish president and prime minister. While the encounter appeared cordial, relations between President Andrzej Duda, a former member of PiS, and Prime Minister Donald Tusk are strained. Tusk vowed to restore Poland to a European liberal democracy and promised voters his government will prosecute politicians and former PiS officials accused of wrongdoing. At the same time, the Polish president remains loyal to his former party, steadfastly defending his former colleagues from prosecution. Jacek Kucharczyk, president of the Institute of Public Affairs in Warsaw, says the new leadership is fulfilling promises made to supporters during the election.
Donald Tusk and his government basically made it their priority to at least start the process of repairing these damaged institutions. And the first institution was the public media, and then the prosecutorial services, because these are crucial institutions for actually holding the former ruling party accountable for the abuse of power that happened during their 2 terms of office. And there is a backlash, obviously, from party loyalists, and that's what we are witnessing right now.
The new opposition's goal is to disrupt parliamentary sessions and make it impossible for the parliament to pass the budget, says Michał Broniatowski, editor-in-chief of Politico Poland.
If this happens, though I think it's very unlikely, the president will have constitutional right to dissolve the parliament and call new elections.
Jacek Kucharczyk says he believes calling new elections would be a big mistake for Duda and his followers.
The situation seems precarious, but I think that the opposition, which attempts to destabilize the situation, has very little chances of succeeding. Assuming that the parliament is indeed dissolved and that new elections are held, the conditions for Law and Justice and chances of Law and Justice of winning those early elections are very slim. It would be a big mistake for the president. I think President Duda will set a trap for himself if he indeed tries to call for early election.
Polish society is deeply divided, and the current crisis is seen as a test of its Western-style democratic system at the time when populism is on the rise in Europe. Miroslava Gongadze, VOA News, Warsaw, Poland.